Hello for the first time or welcome back. Whatever applies to you, that's the intro that I want you to use for this video. We are back with Absolute Batman Annual number 1, and this one is right in time for spooky season. This is coming out a couple of days before Halloween, and there is a storm. I'm sure you guys can hear it in the background. It is storming right now, so I have to tell you this story of Batman taking on a group of white supremacists. So this starts off with Batman and his father, and they're reading the Gotham Globe, and he's reading about a extremist bombing that happened. And Bruce is saying to his dad, like, what happened? Why are these people doing this? And his father's just saying, I don't know. I'm just one man. I can't save everything. I can't save everyone. I just want to do my best. And as an educator, as a teacher, I want to make sure that my students, maybe I can just teach the next generation to be more accepting, to be better than these people. And hopefully, Bruce, you're somebody that does that too. And we turn to the next page, we see Batman with a flamethrower. We know what he's going to do to take down some of these extremists. You see this old pickup truck with Bruce Wayne in it pulling into this small town, Slaughter Swamp. And he sees this kind of Hoover Town sort of thing. It's this broken down construction area with a bunch of tents and like this kind of tent city sort of thing. But Bruce Wayne is on his way to a pawn shop, and he walks in and he talks to the guy. The guy's like, "Come on in, city boy, I've been waiting on you." And what Bruce had ordered from this guy was all these like less than lethal ammunitions. He's got explosives, modified rubber bullets, beanbags. He's got the works, says the guy. And the guy's asking him like, "What do you need all this firepower for?" And he's like, "I got my reasons." And the dude's like, "I'm just gonna take the money because I got my reasons too." Now back outside, Bruce can hear somebody saying, "We weren't doing anything," and all these other people are like chasing them or something. He can overhear a ruckus outside. "We told your asses you can't be here." And the guy in the pawn shop is like, "Hey man, you better leave that alone." Because when Bruce goes out there, it's all these guys in these pig masks, and they're beating up on this woman and this child. They literally take the kid's book bag, pour out all the candy and toys and stuff, and just stomp on it until Bruce comes and he knocks one of these guys right out. And they're like, "You made a big mistake." And Bruce is Batman, so he's like, "Okay, we'll see." But then he gets cold clocked in the back of the head with a wrench by the same pawn shop guy because they're all in this together. And then this dude DJ rolls up and he's got this neck tattoo. He's asking the rest of his goons like, "What the hell is going on here?" And they're like, "It's a city boy here to play savior." And he's like, "I love city boys." And they start jumping him. And then a priest jumps in. He jumps over top of Bruce Wayne and he's trying to protect him. But see, this guy, Father Peters, he knows the people in this group and he's calling out to him. He's like, "Hey kid, I've known you since you were a little kid, before you could even walk. How did you turn into this?" The kid starts to pull his mask off, and that's when the leader just says, "Leave them on the ground and let's go do what we came here to do." So this cuts back over to the priest's house, and the priest is talking to Bruce Wayne. So Batman is starting to come to here, and the priest is like, "Hey, they got us pretty good." And he's like, "Yeah, that's not gonna happen again." And the priest is just like, "Oh, right." And then Bruce notices a picture, and it seems to be the priest with a couple of other guys, and they're arm in arm, and it looks like they're at a protest, kind of a stop the violence sort of protest. And he's talking to the priest. He's like, "Is this you?" And he's like, "Yeah, that was me from a few years ago. Chasing peace, not knowing what I was doing then, and still not knowing what I'm doing now, but still just chasing peace." And then that's when Bruce is like, "What's going on with this place?" And the priest says, "We had this outsider come about 6 months ago, and he started recruiting people into this dark place, and now they're acting on all of these horrible instincts." And Bruce is like, "Well, they said something was going to happen tonight. Well, what are they about to go do?" And that's when the priest said that boy and his mother that Batman was just trying to save them from, he's like, they were from an encampment, and they plan to run them out of town by any means necessary. So right from there, that's all Batman needed to hear. He gets up, he gets his coat, he's walking out the door, and the priest is like, they torched your car, man, I'm so sorry. But he doesn't care about that because he's going to the back to get that case. And he says one of the coldest lines, "Sometimes peace isn't an option." I wish you would have thrown one of them cowboy kind of, "Isn't an option, father." I do like this kind of Western Batman story. I love this shit. So we pull back over to the encampment, and you see all these white supremacists standing over top of them, and the police show up, and he goes, hey, you know, we can't let you do this. And then they all just start laughing because, of course, the police are in on it too. And they go, good to have everybody here. Now let's clean up this town. And he's got the Negan bat and everything. And they go down there and they start hurting and killing all of these people. And this guy's just shouting, do you see us? Do you see me? I'm the new truth. I am the power. Pure power. White pop. And then Batman breaks that motherfucker. And then we just get to enjoy page after page of Batman putting belt to ass, wrestling move after wrestling move on all of these guys. They can't get a hit in at all. And this dude even pulls out a weapon and he puts it to the little boy's head. I'll do it. Batman hits him with 3 batarangs in the face and then knees those into his face and puts that man on the ground. The leader picks up the thing and he starts to point it at Batman. He gets a shot off, but this is Batman. This is absolute Batman. He don't care about guns, and it's boom, 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 face. And finally, the priest is telling them, stop. And Batman is like, this is my way. The priest is like, there's got to be a better way. And Batman's like, no, this is what I do. So now we cut back over to all these guys running. Boys, he got DJ. They're going back to their compound because DJ, the leader, he just got caught up. But if you guys know anything about this version of Batman, his Batmobile is actually a giant cat. So he goes back to that construction site and he finds one of those and he puts it back on. Because Batman in the Absolute Universe, he's a construction worker. So he drives these all day. These guys are getting out their weapons. They're getting ready because Batman, he burned down the pawn shop and he is on their way to them. And he's driving this gigantic cat and he drives right through the front of the building. I'm sorry, I'm so excited, y'all. I am ecstatic reading this. I am a little kid in heaven watching Batman just pummel these white supremacists. And he goes, get back. You can't do this to us, man. We're human beings. And Batman goes, oh, you're roaches, and there's only one way to deal with those. And Batman, with a flamethrower, sets them on fire! And that's when the priest, who is a trained medic, he comes in and he starts to heal the guys. And Batman's like, why are you doing this? And he's like, you have your way, and I have mine. And Batman's kind of like looking at him like, you know what? I could respect that. I'll beat him up and you put him back in. We get Batman back inside of this giant cat, and he's just having this sort of flashback memory of talking with his dad that day. And he was saying, you did a lot of cool stuff when you were younger, Dad, because young Bruce is actually looking at a picture. And his dad's like, you know what? We didn't know what we were doing back then. We just really wanted peace. And you see the picture that he's looking at, and it's the same picture of the guy with the priest. His dad was one of the people that were the non-violent protesters fighting against violence. And the comic ends with his father telling him that if you are just yourself and you do what you know is right to help people, I'll always be proud of you. And that's where the comic ends off. There's a backup story in this that's awesome too. I would love to cover that, but I wanted to cover this because everybody's going to be talking about this comic. It's perfect. It's just in time for a spooky season. So let's watch Batman beat up a bunch of guys in masks, you know? That being said, I'm glad you guys dug it. And I'll see you next time. Peace.